This right here, girl, is an ad. I'm going to need you to get you some of this Just Move Energy supplement so you can have the energy to get your workouts done like I need to get mine done, girl. It is sometimes a struggle and you need a little extra. Plus the protein shakes. I don't have an appetite a lot of the time. Protein shakes really help me after the workout because I do not want to be on the massage table with my stomach growling because that's where I'm going after this, okay? So I get my protein shake done before, boom, I got both of them. I'm ready, okay? I'm getting old. My knees is a problem. Do you see me warming it up? Do you see me trying to stretch it out? That's 35 pounds. I'm squatting 35 pounds. I'm proud. You can get those gloves and other workout gear from TeamLASHAE.com. The link is down below in the description box, girl. Yes. Girl, I have to give it to myself. You look good, girl. You look good. Juvie. I just have to put him in here because he's cute. I'm on my way to the spa, girl. Piece of serenity. My homegirl does not want to be seen, but she does the best massages. I go to her at least once a week for this muscle situation, girl. And she also gave me this massage cream with CBD in it that really helps with my aches and my pain. So get you some. All of this. Get you some. 15% off with my Relax Me Bondi code. Okay, girl? Get it. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Not come on in. Not come. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm weird. Whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. So let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video, right?
No, sock it to me, ooh, sock it to me like you want to, ooh. I can take it like a pro, you know. You a long pro with the backstroke. My hormones jumping like a disco. You be popping mess like some Crisco. And all I gotta say is Missy go. And when I say go, won't move slow. What's going on, everyone? That's what I was listening to, girl. Don't worry about me. What's going on? I'm trying to get the lighting situation because you know you got to have a little bit of both, okay? Get a little bit of lighting in there, so a little bit of natural light so that we're, you know. Hi, everybody. Okay, so we are back for Weekends on OWN, okay? And Weekends on OWN, let me explain, girl, in case you did not know. It is Ready to Love. It is Belle Collective. It's also Family of Fiance, who I do not have a graphic for right now, and I just realized it, so give me a moment. But then Love and Marriage Huntsville is members only, which means after this live, I'm going to go live for members who are paying for my content, whether it is on my website, on Patreon, or on YouTube. So you be a member on any three of those platforms, and you will get the Love and Marriage Huntsville reviews. Outside of that, girl, you know, that's the way it's going over here. All right, y'all. How y'all doing today? Is everybody doing all right? Y'all, Family or Fiance was a fucking mess. Okay, it was a fucking mess. Girl, let me get the pictures. Girl. Okay. Where is it at? Ooh. Hold up, y'all. Do we want the family photo? We can do the family photo. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, sometimes the bitch just want to make unnecessary Meg the Stallion noises. I told you that's who I'm being for Halloween, right? I'll be Meg the Stallion for Halloween. Lyric was trying to hate on my gangster, talking about how are they gonna know you're Meg the Stallion? I'm like, they'll know. Be walking around all the time, okay, for no reason. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, I see. Ooh. All right. I see everybody's okay. Hey, everybody. Look, Facebook people, what's going on? Facebook people. Hi. Okay, it was a mess, his relationship with his mom and how upset she got Problematic. Shantia, it was absolutely problematic. Okay. I was literally just listening to that song as well while I'm faking like I'm working on this Zoom chat. Okay, you got the knees. I'm trying to see something. Listen, okay, I'm be doing that all Halloween long, be okay. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so girl, girl, let's talk about it. Okay, so this is Troy and Shy. And Shy has a twin sister named Sky that's standing on the other side of her mother. And as you can see, Troy is standing there with his mother as well. It's almost like he's closer with his mom than he is with his fiance, even in this picture. It's weird. On the end there are the two aunts. Okay. We feel like one of those aunts must be from Troy's father because her name is Cheryl too. Wouldn't make sense to have two sisters named Cheryl. But either way, everybody's there to support Miss Cheryl, which is Troy's mama, because she's about to have a heart attack and a conniption when she realizes that this 29-year-old man is going to put his fiance before her. Girl, let me pull up my notes. Okay. So I'm gonna stay off camera because I don't feel like being on camera. I'll come back on camera for the next show. I just don't feel like being on camera right now. Okay. My menstrual is about to come down. I'm breaking out. I'm gonna keep looking at it. It's gonna be distracting to me. I'm gonna be like, oh my God, this blemish, that's how I'm gonna feel. So let me go ahead and stay off camera for the moment. Okay. So Shy and Troy. Okay. First of all, he slid into her DMs. Okay. He came over and then they Netflixed and chilled. I said, that's the first problem. The first problem is your very first date, having a man you don't know come to your home to Netflix and chill. She and her twin sister are in a music group, and Troy says he's an aspiring actor. He wants his daughter to get into acting as well. He has a year-old daughter that he has full custody of, and he wants that daughter to be an actress so that they can have a dynasty. And I just, as soon as I hear language, dynasty, king, I hear delusion. Something about this person is delusional. I know y'all gonna feel like I'm grasping at straws. Y'all gonna feel like I'm reaching. But I want people to be more realistic about what their life is going to be. And saying that you're gonna have a dynasty, which essentially is a generational monarchy, it's bothersome to me that you think just because you and your daughter both want to be actresses or actors, even though you took the test to be a police officer. We haven't gotten to that yet, but you have that knowledge at the moment that you're saying these things. So I just kind of feel like delusional. Let's start there. Delusional. Let's start there. Okay. So they got engaged on their shared birthday. I said, girl, I don't know when your birthday is, but I have never known it to be a good idea for a man and a woman to be the same sign and be in a relationship together. I don't know what sign it is. Maybe they're both Libras. I don't know. But I'm just wondering, what sign would y'all have to be in order for y'all to have the same birthday and decide to get engaged on that day? I don't know. It's crazy. I find that as a red flag. People do not know what words mean anymore. Even Jay-Z's dynasty was flaw. Yeah. They don't know what the word means, and they use shit out of context and think that, how they mean it is how the word means. And I'm like, no. Jay-Z doesn't even have a dynasty. Now, if his children are in rap, and then the next generation of children are in rap and they dominate both generations after him, that will be considered a dynasty. Like, I would consider that a dynasty because y'all were all in the same field and it was generational. You and your child wanting to do something, that's not what any of that means. You and your homeboys wanting to do something together, that is not what any of that means. But I digress. Let's continue on. There are more delusions to come. Oh, yes. Okay, but that was just the first thing that popped out that I said, nope, don't like it already. Feels delusional already. I don't know. Let's take a breath. Um, so she moved in, or he moved in with her. Let's be clear. He moved in with her 4 months into the relationship. He's never known a love like hers. She brings out the best in him. You know, I think people love to say things that sound good. They've heard it on movies and TV shows and in music. And now they say it because they think it displays an emotion that, they have. But the truth of the matter is, you can't tell me that you've never experienced a love like this woman gives you when you have such a close and unhealthy attachment to your mother. You can't say that. That's a lie. That's another lie. Let's continue on. She says that she loves how much he loves his family. This is something a naive young woman will look at as a positive until she gets to the root of his codependency on his family. It's not love, it's codependency. It's wrapped up to look like a positive thing. But once you peel back the layers like an onion, you realize his connection with his mother is unhealthy and something's wrong here. So he proposed to her. And even though she has a mother and she has a twin sister, he chose to go to her grandmother instead of going to either of those two other women that are extremely close to her, almost as if he knew they were going to say no. So he went to the person that probably would receive him coming to her with the best energy. I think the grandmother is older, probably perceived this young man coming to her asking for her grandchild's hand in marriage like something that was very respectful, because in her time it probably was considered a big deal. But to skip over the twin sister and her mother, it tells me that you wanted to ask someone who you knew would not tell you no. Her twin found out that they were engaged on the internet. And he will continue throughout this entire episode to say that his closeness with his mother is the same thing as Shy's closeness with her twin sister, Sky. And I feel like, first of all, no, it's not. And this right here is proven by the fact that Shy created so much of a distance between she and her twin for this relationship that her twin did not even know that she was engaged. Meaning she didn't even call her herself right after to tell her. She posted it on social media. So if you have conversations with your mother that you don't have with Shy, obviously those two relationships are not the same. It almost makes me feel like he found her having a twin as a plus, because he would be able to say, my relationship with my mother is like your relationship with your twin, even though that is not true. That is not actually the way the relationship works, because if it did, he would be complaining about it before she said anything. But he doesn't really have any complaints about her relationship with her sister. We didn't hear one complaint about her closeness with her sister. All we heard was him using it as a comparison between him and his mother. And I would like for him to realize that there is even a difference between the relationship between a parent and a child and the relationship between two people that entered the world at the exact same time. And yeah, okay, we'll give it a couple of minutes difference. But nah, being in the same womb at the exact same time, coming out damn near looking just like each other, that is not the same thing as your connection with your mom that feels like emotional incest. That feels like covert incest. And y'all don't like to have these conversations. Whenever I mention this, everybody wants to get all uncomfortable, because probably a lot of people realize that their relationships in their parental situation, the parental figures in their lives, a lot of those relationships are a little incestuous, especially if it's like the single parent dynamic. And people get so upset when I say that. I'm not saying that because it doesn't happen in relationships where there are two parents. But to me, if it's only you and your child, it seems as if you would form that us against the world dynamic way easier than if there's another person in the situation. And I actually have had this conversation with people, my own family members that wanted to argue with me about this. And it's like, I don't know why you want to argue with anybody about the fact that when you are a single parent, you form this us against the world relationship with your child, and it forms somewhat of a codependency. It doesn't mean your child can't do anything without you, but it means your closeness is out of whack for what it should be. People really don't like to admit that. They don't like to come to terms with it. But that's also because that would leave them without their security blanket, because a lot of people make security blankets out of their children. A lot of people make security blankets out of their children, and they don't realize that they do that. And because the children are just a product of the parent, they don't know what a healthy relationship looks like outside of the one they've grown into. So they have no idea what it's really supposed to look like. All they're going on is the relationship they've always had with their parent. It's not until they start to want to make another person in their life at the forefront that you start to notice the issues. Because then the reality of the situation sinks in. That your relationship is not conventional. You believe that it is, but it's not. It's not, because, Miss Cheryl, if your relationship was conventional, you would not have to move out of the way for SHAE. Your placement will already be where it is for the mother of a 29-year-old man. But because your relationship is unbalanced, it's not the way it's supposed to be. I'm sorry. I know y'all love to throw that, oh, everybody, relationship not the same. And that is very true. But that does not mean that emotionally incestuous relationships are okay for anybody, because they're not. You and your son are not different. Anybody that's going through that, you are not any different from anybody else, which is why there are case studies on the shit. Like, there are case studies on this, on how people form these relationships with their children that become codependent. And now you're the primary person in your child's life when they're an adult, and they can't put someone as primary like they would when they form a relationship with someone, because the parent is in that spot. You were never supposed to be in that spot in the first place. He was never, I'm sorry, y'all. I know y'all gonna think I'm crazy. You're not supposed to talk to your mama on the phone every day when you're 29 years old. You're just not. Not every day in the morning like that. Maybe, let me check in by the time but like this, the way he's doing it, it feels unhealthy. I'ma just say it. Vonde, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Bondi, when I saw this episode, I say Bondi gonna light that mama up. You're doing a great job. I love your self-care regimens. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And thank you for the super chat. Let me see. And my thing is, how is Troy passionate with wanting to be an actor when he already decided to commit within the process of being a police officer? Both jobs are not the same, especially with the expectation. Yes. Okay, yes. Okay, you're right. Now let me continue on with the notes, because I feel like I went off on a tangent. All right. So I'm going to tell y'all the reason why I think that this man has full custody of that baby. I think he has full custody of the baby because the baby mama probably don't feel like dealing with him and that mama. I don't know why, but it's something about the dynamic of their relationship that makes me feel like that lady was like, just take full custody. I'll come and see my baby, throughout the week. But I really don't want to have to fight with you and your mama about this baby. So I'm going to just go ahead and, let you take that full custody, because I need to, I'm just trying to understand. Maybe she wasn't prepared to be a mother. You know what I'm saying? But it definitely felt like, here, take the baby. Let me go on, because I ain't got time for this. Okay. And the way he lies, I feel like he's a liar. I think he lies in his relationships. And at the beginning of the episode, this Aunt Cheryl on the end really was pressing the fact that SHAE has not met his child's mother, even though she's been in the child's life, from what I understand, the entire time the child has been here, because he disappeared for 2 weeks. And when he finally called her, she found out that he had a baby with somebody. She did not even know that. So he's been lying to her throughout their entire relationship, if you ask me, because you knew you had somebody else pregnant. You never told her. You fully went into the relationship with her, got engaged in all of this shit. and she's never met the child's mother, you're doing that on purpose because you want to keep distance, because you don't want that girl to say anything too shy about how you are on the other side of things, on the other side of the truth. Because obviously he keeps things from shy. He'll tell his mama everything. The baby mama probably know what's going on. Even the aunties probably know what's going on. But shy is being kept in the dark about whatever is going on in this man's life because he's just lying all over the place. And nobody's acting like that's a problem, that he's lying about such huge things in his life. Like, girl, he lied to you about having a girl pregnant. Him not telling you that he had somebody pregnant while he was in this relationship with you, for y'all to have moved in by the time you were 4 months into the relationship, and he disappears for 2 weeks. And when he finally calls you, he tells you he got a baby you didn't know about. Girl, what? Now the baby is 1 year old and she sees the baby as her own. And that also makes me feel like you were looking for somebody to be a parent to that child. Thank you, Vonday, for becoming a member. I appreciate you, love. Thank you so much for supporting the content. It's greatly appreciated. It really is. So now Shy is a mother, a stepmom, basically, to a child, a 1 year old at 24 years old. At 24 years old. Nobody's really worried about that. I'm sure they are, but they're not vocalizing it in that way. Moving on from there, Sky, her sister, because the families joined together, Sky is worried about her sister not being ready with the rush. And then also she's worried about her sister wanting 5 children and to be married to a police officer. How are you going to have a music career with all of that? Her uncle wants to know who Troy is because he feels like he doesn't really know Troy. I feel like nobody really knows Troy but his mama. And I feel like his mom doesn't even know the side of Troy that Troy hides from her. She may know most of the big things in his life because he feels like there will be a consequence if she doesn't know everything, which is why he has to tell her everything, because there will be consequences. If you ask me, she seems like she holds him emotionally hostage. I also feel like his passive aggressiveness, like, so I can't get buck with my mom for the way she is overbearing, so I'm going to put how I feel about my mom onto my girlfriend. That's what I feel like he was doing to Shy. Everything he was saying about Shy not listening to him not feeling heard, I feel like that's how he feels about his mother. But anyway, girl, we'll get more into that in a moment. Um, his mom Cheryl says it's too soon. Marriage is worth waiting for. All of the true things. His aunt starts crying about how terrible divorce is. Obviously, she must have went through a divorce recently or hasn't healed from one. I don't know. But I felt like she jumped off the deep end a little bit too soon. So that makes me feel like something must be fresh inside of her. Don't get me wrong. I know divorce is terrible. It's very hard to go through. But the way she talked about it destroying everybody around, I was just like, yeah, that is not always the case. And sometimes people need to divorce. And sometimes you get amazing things from divorce, like me. Okay, sorry, honey, but both of my parents were divorced before they had me. And I just want to say, if it took for them to have to get divorced from those first marriages in order for y'all to get me, I don't know what to tell you, but it needed to happen. Okay. Um, so yeah, that was a lot right there. She starts crying. When they ask their questions and do their 5-year plan thing, Cheryl almost has a stroke when Shy says she wants to have a business with Troy. She was like, what does that mean? What do you mean by that? What do you mean? What does she mean by she wants to have a business with him? And Shy very calmly explains, oh, well, we wanted to have like a school where I do, music lessons and he can do acting lessons. This is obviously something that they're dreaming about. This is not something that they actually feel like they want to do or they really can do, I don't think, but it's an option. I think it's something she's probably thought of. But either way, the way Cheryl responded to it, it was like, oh, that's something I don't know. How can there be something that I don't know? What's that? Explain that to me. And it's just like, ma'am, you doing way too much already. They discuss her religion. She's Christian, and it's obvious based off what Cheryl said, they must be Catholic. Okay, so Cheryl, if you're on the phone with your son every day and you don't know the religion of his fiance who he's been with for a year, well, honestly, who he's been engaged to for a year. Okay. Because I don't even know what's the timeline of the relationship fully, but I know that they've been together since the baby was born, and the baby's a year old. So they've probably been together, what, a year and some change? How is it that you sit on the phone with your son every day and you don't know that about his girlfriend, his fiance? And another thing, the way they kept acting like this girl doesn't play a part in his child's life. That was another thing. Like, I was like, wait a minute. Y'all gonna act like this girl isn't already obviously playing a part in a child's life? Like, I don't know. It was just all, I don't know, y'all, but I felt like for the mom specifically, if you're talking to your son every day and you don't know something as simple as the religion of the girl he wants to get married to, it means that he doesn't talk to you about her because it probably upsets you. And you don't want to know about her because you don't want him to get that close to anybody because you don't want to be replaced in your eyes, because you can't really replace a mother. But if a mother puts herself in a position as the woman in a man's life, then yeah, you gonna get replaced. That's how this goes. Okay. Y'all need to understand, the person the son wants to have sex with is the person that is going to take precedent. That's the person that should take precedent in these situations. Mom, play it to the back. Sit down to the side. Okay. Mary Alice the shit. Give your opinion and press on with your day. You're doing way too much. Oh, yes, it's given emotionally manipulative for sure. It feels like she's I'm sorry, y'all, but it's given that Troy may have abusive tendencies because he's probably had to deal with his mother lashing out in a crazy way. So he's dealt with aggression and violence from her as a parent. He's been held emotionally hostage, which means he can't really express his emotions the way he would like to his mother. And therefore, he has a lot of aggression that he probably holds in his body whenever he's dealing with his mother. When he gets home and deals with Shy, she's softer. She is going along with everything because she doesn't want to upset him. I feel like when Tracy called it. Tracy said, I feel like she told you before that she felt like she wasn't being put first and you lost it on her. So now she doesn't say it at all and she just goes along. If a woman is in a relationship with a man and her main focus is not to make him angry, that's a problem for me. Right. And now you're telling me you want to become a police officer. You already have pent up aggression and frustration, and you're going to a mama's boy with pent up frustration and aggression wants to become a police officer. That is not a good idea. That is not a good idea at all to me. Okay. But anyway, another thing was I didn't like the fact that it seemed as if the mother Cheryl felt a way about them not having a church home. And I was like, if your son doesn't have a church home, whose fault is that exactly? Because I don't feel like that would ever be a question if I had a church home. Like, yeah, I have a church home. I grew up in a church. That church is still there. It's the church my mom goes to. That's my church home. So, mama, if church is important to you, then your son should have a church home. Why are you talking to this lady about her church home as if that's the only way he was going to have a church home was if Shy had one as well? Thank you, babe. So, moving on from there. Oh, that's good. Troy teaches in between acting, and Troy's mom drops a bomb on Shy about him wanting to be a police officer. His mom says he took the test and passed it, and now he has to take the written. He took the physical, and he was so that you could tell that she was excited to give Shy information she did not know, almost like she was excited to bust her bubble or something like that. She was like, he was so determined. He passed it with flying colors. She was so excited about that. I'm like, ma'am, you are excited to have your son get shot at. That's funny. Shy is now upset and is being passive aggressive herself when she says, "Oh, it's okay. Of course he would tell you first." That's not what she really felt. She felt, how dare he keep something that big away from me, like a whole career. So this is the second huge thing in his life that he has kept a secret from you. The baby was the first thing. And now he's keeping a whole career that he's interested in away from you. Crazy, right? Then Shy says she wants 5 kids, which shocked Cheryl to shit. And I didn't know if she really wanted 5 kids, but I feel like that's the delusional part. You can't possibly want 5 children. Like having them, but actually setting out to want them from the beginning when you have none, that sounds crazy. But I'm gonna leave it alone just because I feel like kids are a lot. So you want to have 5 motherfuckers screaming mommy, mommy, mommy all day? All right, girl, go. Girl, do you. Sound like you're gonna stress yourself out if you ask me. But anyway, at dinner, Cheryl asked about what will they do if she gets pregnant, if Shy gets pregnant. And Troy says, well, family first. And here, I love it. Everybody loves to answer questions, deep questions with phrases, fucking memes and shit. Family first. Get the fuck out of here. What does that actually mean? Because there are a lot of people that say that and don't ever really show up for the family. Okay. But she asked about him being a police officer. And she asked when he took the test. His mom had to answer for him. Oh, he took it about a week ago. She says, you didn't tell me, but you told your mom. He says he didn't know if he really wanted to do it yet. So you went and took a whole physical exam, even though you didn't know if you wanted to do it yet? The conversation goes from them needing to communicate better, because Troy got upset when Sky said that y'all need to communicate better. He said, y'all don't need to communicate nothing. She's the one that needs to communicate better. He then proceeds to blame it all on Shy, saying that she doesn't listen to him. He doesn't feel heard. That was another red flag for me. So, because you can't deal with the fact that you're being called to task for lying, you now flip it on her. And I bet you any money that's the way his mom has taught him how to deal with conflict. I can never be wrong. So, if someone calls me out on my shit, I'm going to flip it and act like it's them. They did something wrong. It's not me, it's them. Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all, there was a moment at the very beginning of the episode when they were sitting down talking to Tracy. They did a medium shot of the two of them. And the way she was holding on to his arm, I was just like, it's giving abuse. I hate to say it because I don't feel like every situation is physical abuse, but it's something about it that was screaming desperation. Desperate to keep him, desperate to make him happy. And a part of that was holding on to him for dear God during uncomfortable conversations. Um, yeah, he had no male reps to show for him, not a best friend or male cousin. Red flag. Yeah, yeah, that is a red flag. Uh-huh. Child, we gonna get to it. I see y'all in the comments. I see y'all. Y'all is spot on. So Shy got up and walked away from the table because she was feeling attacked. And he knew he was attacking her because when she got up to go and cry, he was like, I'm not trying to attack you. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. She's soft spoken, she's docile. And because he can't take the heat in the moment, he turns it all on her. And I really didn't like the way I feel like nobody was saying what was happening as it was happening. Everybody just sits there and nobody really speaks up. The uncle says this is why they don't need to rush it because they don't really know each other. And even though that is very true, I don't like the way nobody's calling it out that he's blaming her for him lying. I don't like that nobody's calling it out. Shy and Sky, go into the bathroom together, and her sister says she understands how she feels betrayed. Shy and Troy talked to Tracy later on about him not telling her about the police academy tests. And Tracy points out it's not that he told his mom, it's that he didn't tell Shy and he had to lie to her in order to keep it a secret. He didn't want to be a disappointment to her. That's why he didn't tell her. That's what he said. But I like the fact that this is maybe one of the first times I've seen Tracy call a guy out like this. And Tracy was like, no, what I hear is you're not taking any ownership or responsibility for lying to her. I don't even think I heard you apologize to her for not telling her. Tracy says you didn't want her to know because you didn't want to feel pressured about it. Then he says that she doesn't listen. He feels unheard and belittled. And then, oh, it becomes an attack on his manhood. And I was like, oh, so the girl that is barely speaking above a whisper is belittling you and attacking your manhood. Do y'all see why I don't like when men use that bullshit against women when they don't want to be held accountable for something? That's why any man that's telling me that a woman talking to him is affecting his manhood, it means his manhood is brittle and weak. It is not manhood at all if it can be disrupted by another person. Now, somebody could try to play you. Somebody could try to hurt your feelings. Somebody could try to come at you sideways, a whole bunch of different things. But your manhood has nothing to do with another person. And if it does, that's because it's not real manhood, it's ego. Tracy says it sounds like when you don't like her opinion, you call it unheard. You can't put it on her. I said, thank you, Tracy. Thank you. Call a thing a thing. Anytime she has an opinion about what you're doing that you don't like, you're going to act as if you've not been heard. But you have been heard. You just don't like the response. And that's that's just life. You're not going to always like the way people feel about your decisions. And I honestly feel like he knew she wouldn't be comfortable with him being a police officer. Something about that. But either way, um, Shy says that, his relationship with his mom isn't the problem. And I love that Tracy says maybe the relationship with his mom is the issue. His mom is sewn into every minute of his life in a way that Shy is not. And Shy wants to feel like she's first. She's probably complained and he loses it. So she stops saying things altogether. Tracy says their relationship in its current form will only lead to disaster for them. Troy needs to talk to his mom and he needs to be about it and not keep running his mouth because he started to talk and tell her how she's number one. And Tracy was like, yeah, no, it needs to be actions, not just words. So they both have an assignment. Tracy instructs Shy to speak with the producer about whether her music career is something that can actually happen or not. And she tasked Troy with having a conversation with his mother about cutting the cord. And it's so funny because I feel like Tracy is the one that told him he needed to have that conversation, but I think he knows he had to have that conversation with his mom. But somehow, once he gets the response he knew he would get from his mom, which is a negative one, he's going to then act like this is all Shy's fault and she made him do something that she herself is not willing to do. Child, it's a fucking mess. But let's read. So the producer said that Sky and Shy need to tighten up their harmonies, tighten up their vocals, but the producer likes what he sees, meaning that yes, they absolutely have they can sing if they want to. They can be artists if they want to. They have something cute. They have something eclectic going on that, just a little work. Okay, just a little work can help them out with. Listen, I only heard a snippet, you guys. I only heard a snippet. But the snippet that I heard, I thought his advice was spot on. They need to tighten up the vocals. But either way, they're cute. So, can she have 5 children and still do music? Kiki Wyatt does it, but Kiki Wyatt is an extreme talent too. And she also works a lot. She has a lot of children, but she has to have a lot of help. And she does a lot of singing. Every time you turn around, Kiki Wyatt is performing at somebody's church festival or some shit like that. Somebody's R&B festival down here, okay? Kiki Wyatt gonna get her a show. So if you're gonna be somebody like Kiki Wyatt, then yeah, go ahead and make it happen for yourself. But just know that 5 children and a husband, especially a husband as a police officer, that's going to make it real hard for you to have this music career. I think your sister's fears about you losing the drive for what y'all are trying to do once you get into this marriage, I think she has 100% reason to feel that way because the relationship already feels controlling. So once they're married, yeah, it's probably going to get worse. So Troy talks to his mom, and she says until they become one, they are not one. So she doesn't want to hear this conversation about putting Shy first because they're not married yet. But the truth of the matter is, even once they're married, you're going to have a hard time with pulling back. Them being married is of no consequence. He says fiance comes first in his eyes, and he knows that they need to cut the cord. They knew they would need to cut the cord at some time, which makes me feel like he knew how unhealthy the relationship is. It makes me feel like he's not even happy with the way the relationship is, but he's so used to it, and it is like an abusive relationship, so he's going to act like an abusive person acts in a, the abused person acts in an abusive relationship. Somebody tries to tell them, somebody tries to come and save them, but they don't see it, and so they fight against the person trying to save them from their abuser. That's exactly what's happening here. And I feel like by product he will do the same thing to Shy. I'm just saying, based on what we seen, y'all, I saw all of those little flinches in his face and shit when he didn't like what he was being told. I could tell that he was very much controlling himself in a lot of these scenes. Um, so this is the part for me that took me out with the mom. When the mom said, "You're telling me that you've only known this girl for a little over a year, and I've taken care of you your whole life, and you're going to put this girl before me? This is ridiculous." She gets upset and tells him he needs to get it together and do better because this ain't it. She gets up, cries, runs off, and he's sitting there with that dead look on his face, which shows me that right now she is emotionally manipulating him, and he doesn't know how to deal with it. But he knows that he can't respond to his mother in the way he would like to. So he's going to save it for Shy. Shy says they need to push the wedding back because she doesn't know him the way she thought she did. Honestly, I feel like Shy should have canceled the wedding altogether, but she decided not to. So they were doing a confessional, and you can tell this is still an issue for them. So when they say later on that they're postponing the wedding for 2 years, she's still doing her music. He's still trying to become a police officer. He's moving forward with that. But they said that he was putting her first. I didn't believe it because they were still arguing in the confessional because he keeps comparing his relationship with his mother to her relationship with her sister. How many times do we have to tell you those are not the same situations? And you constantly bringing it up is a way to deflect from the issue and not take accountability or responsibility for the way your relationship with your mother is affecting your fiance. I think she needs to leave him and his mama to be miserable the way they want to be. You want to be miserable with your mama? Be miserable with your mama, sweetheart. Okay? But I would definitely be trying to let him go. And I'm praying for that baby. I hope that the mother of that baby is equipped, because I believe at some point she gonna have to fight for her baby in some respect against these people. I'm just saying, not in like a way that they'll hurt the baby, but when it comes to making decisions, when it comes to the way they create codependent relationships amongst one another, it definitely makes me feel like that baby mama has a hard road ahead of her. I mean, the fact that she hasn't even met this woman who is helping raise her child, like, I really need to know the backstory. How the hell y'all gonna come on here with this 29-year-old man with mommy issues raising his 1-year-old that came out of nowhere with his girlfriend who's 24? Like, what? I need to understand. How the hell y'all gonna come on here with this type of story and don't give us no backstory? Yes, he has full custody of that child, but the way the aunt was talking about the Shy never meeting the baby's mother, it makes me feel like just because he has full custody, it doesn't mean that she doesn't see her child. And I feel like at some point or another, like, even the situation that they are in is going to be hard. acting like he's 19 years old. Child, 29. I left my ex for that exact reason. How you don't tell someone a whole human is on the way into this world? Like, exactly. That's ridiculous to me. He's dealing with Shy because she's open to play stepmama and she's young enough to think she's being helpful. No, sir. Yes, it's definitely coming off like she's a young woman to be controlled. She's a young woman to be controlled, and he is a man that is searching for power in some area of his life because he has a mother that probably makes him feel powerless in his own life. Just saying, girl, that's what it seems like to me. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. This tea is good. All right, y'all. Go ahead and like the video so we can move on to the next show, which is Ready to Love. Dang, y'all still talking about this toxic relationship. Well, honey, I'm so sorry that I'm not rushing through my content for you. I'm so sorry. We were just moving on. But anyway, let's get into Ready to Love. I love when people come in here and rush me through my content. You want me to hurry up and get over? You want me to hurry up and be done? Child, trust me, I'm trying. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into Ready to Love, y'all. Maybe Shy's mom was edited out. They edited her out probably. She rolled her eyes a few times, but I didn't hear a lot coming from her. I didn't. And it was unfortunate, which makes me feel like somebody taught Shy how to be passive. Her mama was cooking though. I tell you that. That mama was cooking her ass off in that kitchen. They gave us that one little shot of that food, made me hungry. So, Ready to Love, y'all. Randall. All right. So hold up. This episode, the men have the power. They are introducing the women that they're most interested in to someone in their lives that, will ask the good questions that will be difficult. So Randall introduces his ex-girlfriend, and I didn't get any of these people's names because I just don't care. I just don't. Randall introduces his ex-girlfriend to Jamala, Kayla, and Trinika. Kayla says Jamala acts like Randall is something she can actually win. And it's like, girl, chill out. Yeah, the desperation is a bit much, Kayla. We see it. Kayla got the vote because she has a mind of her own. Jamala is obviously going to center Randall, and Randall's ex-girlfriend says he does not need to be with a woman that is going to censor him. She also said, to make him the center of her life. Okay. But she also said that they shouldn't have been in a relationship. They should have just been friends, even though their relationship was 2 years long. But I guess because they are better friends, they feel like they should have just been friends versus trying to be in a romantic relationship. So Jamala did say, when the ex-girlfriend asked her what she wanted, she says, I just want to be a resource. I want to be a support system. Kayla says, I want to have a partner. I want to be with someone who's going to work well with the life that I already have as an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? Trinika was projecting an image. And I feel like I had called Trinika right. I told y'all that hi, Smush Face. Hi, Smush Face. Y'all, somebody must have let Juvie out. You want to say hey? You want to say hey? Okay. He's running amok in the palace. Hi. Look, all right. Calm down, Jude. Calm down. Let me get that, y'all. Lord, Jude. Okay, sorry, y'all. Juvie, must have just went on a walk, so he come back inside and runs amok. All right, like I was saying, y'all. Trinika. I told y'all I felt like Trinika was playing a role. And she was. Trinika was absolutely playing a role. Trinika was projecting big titted femininity. Big titted femininity. And because her big titted femininity wasn't being received well, because people were perceiving it as fake, she got upset. And the reason why she got so upset, I think, is because she knew she was projecting something versus showing who she really was. And so that projection wasn't working. And so she got pissed off with these men at the end when they was threatening to send her ass home. But it's because they know that you're leading with your titties. You're giving the Regine effect. I have cleave. I have these. I can laugh and I have these. That's what it was giving. Trinika girl, your man not there. He not. But anyway, Mike invites Kayla to meet with his sister. Okay, one of the only people that did not invite an ex-girlfriend. Thank God. I'm sure because Mike's ex will probably not have a lot of good things to say about him, probably. But child, there'll be some girl. No, I have great things to say about him. I just didn't want to be on that show. All right, girl. Never mind. Okay. So they discussed her being speechless when he stood in front of the group and had her look into his eyes, and everyone was watching. And he asked how she felt. And I think everybody is glazing over how weird that moment was and how it was not a moment that was about letting her know she was special. It was about putting her on the spot in front of the other men so that those other men can see her connection to you, because you have idealized Kayla, as you called her, what, a video girl? Isn't that what Mike kind of called Kayla, a video girl? It made me feel like he may not want to be in a relationship with her long term because she isn't mentally weak enough for him, but she's attractive and she's a good time girl. So I think that he wanted to show to all of the other men that, she gonna look me in my eyes and she gonna do all this for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess kind of in a passive aggressive competitive manner. That's what it was giving. It was giving like a show to all of the other men. Um Brandy shows up. The sister really liked the chemistry between Kayla and Mike because they were looking into each other's eyes and everything. Um Brandy shows up. She says Mike told her he was trying to snatch her up before anybody else did. Of course, that made Kayla feel uncomfortable. Brandy changed her mind about being with a man with children. Kayla also says that she had some reservations about being with a man who has children because the baby mama situation can be precarious at certain times. And they both dealt with men who've had bad relationships with their BMs. So I think it's so funny that we made a moment out of Sharice saying that she didn't want to be with a man with that type of baggage because she didn't have that type of baggage herself. We made a big deal out of that. All for us to get to this moment and have Kayla and Brandy say the exact same thing, that they didn't know if they wanted to be with a man that has baby mama, issues like that. And they say he has assured them that their relationship, their co-parenting situation is cool and it's not an issue. But at the same time, a lot of the women felt the same way. But when Sharice said it, we wanted to get all butthurt behind it. And I'm wondering if it's because he was more interested in Sharice at the beginning than he was letting on. So to hear her reject him in that way, it made him feel a way. Because remember when Kayla first was trying to talk to him, he was acting like he wasn't really trying to fool with Kayla because she may be too young for him. It was given like, I don't really know if I want you. I also feel like, I don't know if he really fucking with Brandy like that, or he notices the way Brandy fucking with him. It's given, Mike is gonna go with the woman that makes him feel like he is their number one choice. That's why, we're all asking each other what number in the line we're in, because y'all want to be able to choose based on the order y'all are in, instead of just going based off how you feel about that person. Brandy might be too much for Mike. Maybe he do need to stick with Kayla. Why do you say that? Why do you say Brandy might be too much? Brandy knows damn well she doesn't want a guy with children. He hasn't spoke about the BM story. What BM story? I wanted so much more for Brandy. Child, Brandy got to want more for herself. Okay. But anyway, Samson ex-girlfriend comes to meet with Sharice, Brandy, and Lumi. Sharice says she's ready to fight for Samson. And Lumi was like, oh, this giving me pick me vibes. And I was like, I can agree with that. I can agree that Sharice saying she wants to fight for a man as pick me. Yes. But Lumi, you've had those moments. So that's kind of why I was like, ooh, calm down. You're right, but girl, calm down. Lumi says, I'm not going to fight for a man. I'm going to be as I am, and then he can choose me or he cannot. I respect that, and I like that a little bit better than fighting for a man, especially a man who I believe is disingenuous. Samson is full of shit for 300, Alex. If I had to call it. It feels like Samson is full of shit. And this ex-girlfriend he was with about creating this space for him to be vulnerable. Y'all are stretching. Like, I'm going to just tell y'all right now, I am tired of y'all making women feel like they got to be some perfect fucking maternal specimen in order for you to be vulnerable and honest with your emotions. I'm not bending myself in a pretzel for you to share yourself with me. You're either going to share yourself with me because that's how we're connecting, or you're not. But I'm not going to work overtime so you can feel safe enough to share your emotions, Samson. It's giving player. It's giving I'm just really good at the game. That's what it's giving to me. Samson and LJ are very much giving player. It's giving I know how to handle multiple women at a time. It's giving I know how to mind fuck you into making you feel special, when the truth of the matter is I make all these hoes feel special. That's what it's giving. Brandy just seemed out together. Oh, girl, you only seen one episode. That's why. Ugh. All right. So Cherie says that she's ready to fight for Samson. Lumi says she's not. Brandy brings up the gift giving that Samson does. Samson gives gifts to all of the women. It's a very special gift to that woman, but she felt like it did not make her feel special to find out that he had gotten a gift for all of the women that he was seeing. And when it came to getting those emotions from Samson, basically what old girl said is like, he's like an onion, it's going to take time. And I'm like, I'm not doing all of this with you. You either going to be willing to be open or you're not. And if you're not willing to be open in this relationship because you feel like if you're honest with your emotions, you're going to get hurt. Like, women don't get hurt all the time when they have to be honest with their emotions a lot of the time. Like, I'm just saying, if a woman is going on a date with Samson, I bet you any money she's being emotionally honest. Meanwhile, he's being manipulative and then making it seem as if she hasn't created a space for him to be vulnerable. Boy, what? We don't have forever. We don't. So, y'all, Swayze brings Kadeem to meet his friend Ish. Was anybody surprised his friend was Caucasian? No. They have to find middle ground on communication. To me, it's obvious that Swayze doesn't like Kazeen. I don't like Kazeen. Not on the show. I don't know her as a person, so don't get me wrong. Like, Kazeen, if you're watching, I don't know you, girl. But I'm just saying, on the show, you just seem mean. Just mean. Either way, I don't like Swayze either. I don't trust men with little bitty mustaches that don't date black girls, but that come on shows on OWN. I don't trust men like that. They talk about her friend barbecuing him. That must be a word that they use amongst the cast. And how she can be, she can kind of be like her friend was. And he says, you ain't never been like that with me. She was like, well, I have my moments. It's like, we've seen those moments. Shut up, Swayze. Ish says, well, show me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. And Kadeem was like, well, I don't agree with that. You're not going to be exactly like your friends, but you're going to fit into the same demographic. Whether you like it or not, most people have friends that fit into their same demographic. It doesn't always have to be the same thing. Yeah, there's always that one friend that's a little bit broker than all the other friends. There's that one friend that's way more responsible than everybody else. But collectively, a group of friends will still have middle ground on more categories than not. So when Khadeen said no, not really, I was just kind of like, it sounds like you want to disagree for the sake of argument. And that's what I'm like, you're kind of exhausting. So LJ's ex meets with Trinika. She asked when they were together last. Apparently, LJ has brought a girl he just broke up with. Him and that girl dated for less than a year. The last time they had sex was last month, and they broke up at the beginning of the year. And I don't know what time of the year we are in right now because we in Miami and it's hot all time. It's hot all year and it's not raining. So I'm gonna guess that we in spring, summer around this time. But yeah, I was just looking at this like, LJ, why would you bring this girl? You had nobody else to bring. That makes me question what have your relationships been like with women in the past for you to have to bring the most recent. And then a girl's energy was weird as fuck too. They probably were editing it weird, but she seemed like she was there but still very protective or jealous in some way. She may not have been saying it, but her body language was giving, like guarded. Okay. So Trinika asked if LJ and her had sex. Yes, it's been a month. When Lumi gets there, it gets even more awkward. Trinika talks about how she dated a celebrity who had groupies before. So I think she was saying, I can see a hoe when I see one. Okay. I know a hoe when I see one. LJ giving hoe. Okay. Lumi asks, can things be rekindled between LJ and his ex-girlfriend? He says, never say never. That's an honest answer. I really wasn't even upset with him about that because there are a lot of people that break up with somebody and they won't say they'll never go back to him. That's not a big deal. But to me, the fact that this is the one you brought, you were only with her for less than a year. Where are all the other ex-girlfriends? Where are the sisters? Where are the friends? Where are the other women you could have called upon? You calling her makes me question what your relationships are like with all of the other women in your life. Like they would have been a little bit too honest about you. I don't know. But either way, you were really uncomfortable as if you didn't know we were going to find out that you had sex with this woman a month ago. Yeah, it was given LJX is still in love with him. Yeah. That's what's giving. That's what's giving. Um, They ask him if he, is considering being with her. He basically says he's focused on right now, and right now he ain't focused on her. So Mike, LJ, Kazine, and Sharice go out. I don't know why they did this. I guess because they knew their season was trash. So they wanted to have another moment that was kind of a splash. So here we are. People who don't like each other meeting up for no reason. Kadeem starts asking questions and she asks them very quickly. And Mike is like, damn, you always kind of asking us questions. You don't even let us finish, answering before you're asking us the next question and you're answering a question for us. You be doing a lot. And Sharice kind of jumps in and says, yeah, Kadeen, because, sometimes you say things and I'm just kind of like, well, I'll just ignore that. And Kadeen says, I'm not trying to build any friendships here. And Sharice was like, well, what do you mean you're not trying to build any friendships? You told me you were trying to build a friendship with me. And Sharice brings up a text message that Kadeen sent her where she thanked her for encouraging her and being friendly to her. And Kadeen says it was all a lie. She said, yeah, I was going to play the game with you, but I ain't really trying to be friends with you. And I was like, if that isn't the most insecure young ghetto girl shit I have ever heard. Like, I know y'all want me to be mad at Sharice because essentially, Sharice, why would you even care about her wanting to be your friend? But I just think it was the point that you were like so happy about being fake as fuck with another grown ass woman over some basic ass niggas. Like, no disrespect, but you niggas ain't doing nothing spectacular for her to be sitting up here arguing with another woman like in competition. And that's what it felt like. Mike instigated that moment. Yeah, he probably did because he wanted Kadeen to go at Sharice. I think so. Or vice versa. Or wanted Sharice to go at Kadeen. I'm not sure. But it was a stupid argument. It was petty as fuck, but it absolutely made me look at Kadeen like a child, like a teenage girl fighting over some dude. Like that made me sad. Okay. And Sharice, why do you even care? I would have just been like, girl, we good. What else is going on? But I know they felt the need to have a moment because the cameras are there. So we're going to have a moment. But yeah, Kadeen, it was given I want to have a problem just for the sake of having a problem. I'm humbuggish. I probably need to go to therapy and unpack whatever my insecurities and my issues are so I can stop handling everybody like I have a chip on my shoulder, because that's what it feels like, bitch. It feels like you got a chip on this, on your shoulder and your feelings on your sleeve. Okay. It's giving too much. Okay. Pull it back. This is why I hate this show. It turns into competition featuring actors. Yes, it does. You don't really need friends and ready to love to survive the process. Just don't make enemies. I feel like it's not even about whether you're here to make friends or not. As a grown woman, I'm not trying to beef out with any grown woman over no nigga. I'm just not. And so I'm not going to go the extra mile to pretend to be friends with somebody if I really don't like them. I'm not going to play the game in order to act as if we're cool so I don't seem like a bitch to the men arguing with all of the women. That seems like a bit much for me. That seems like a little extra for me. Okay. So I feel like essentially this whole season they tried to make Charisse out to be a villain, and I just don't go along with that rhetoric. I wish I could. I don't like her in every scene, but the way y'all try to like make her out, because even though Mike and them instigated that conversation, when they go to talk to Tommy, they're gonna put it all on Charisse. It was like Charisse just lost it. I was like, oh, did Charisse just lose it? Is that what happened? Charisse just lost it. I said, oh, I didn't know that's how that went. I didn't know she just lost it. That was convenient, wasn't it? I also saw how Charisse said Kadeen was trying to invite her out to dinner with her sugar daddy. I said, girl, what is going on? I wasn't even listening, but I heard that. What is going on? Kadeen, you got a sugar daddy? Okay. So the men meet up. The men complain about Kadeen and all of the faces that she makes. Lumi is too jokey. Charisse lost it on Kadeen for saying they weren't friends. Trinika is sweet, but she seems young. They don't know if, she's real or not. Mike meets with Trinika. Trinika was pissed automatically. And I thought it was so funny because I was like, you have been the most appeasing, docile woman out of all of these women on this show, Trinika. And the moment you thought they were going to send you home, you was about to bite everybody's fucking heads off. And I was like, that's how you know we've been seeing a fake, phony version of you thus far. She didn't get sent home, but she acted a fool up until she found out she wasn't getting sent home. And also, Mike, I'm going to need for you not to put women in distress and then tell them to smile. I think something is very weird and fucked up when men or people, period, put someone in an uncomfortable situation and then tell them they have to smile through it. No, I may be being rejected right now. I'm not smiling. Would you be smiling right now, Mike? About to leak all your scalp all over her shirt? Would you be smiling, sir? And then he had to pick her up and rub her titties all up against his body and shit, which is what he was doing. Samson meets with Lumi. Samson says it was a blessing to see Lumi smile. He was laying it on thick. So she knew she was about to go home, but she didn't care. I also like the way Samson said it. He was like, you're not ready to love any of us. And I was like, I like the way you put that. I like the way you put that. That was ideal. It was. Okay. All right, y'all. Yeah. So that was Ready to Love. It's just getting worse and worse every season as far as I'm concerned. But y'all know it's 574 y'all in here. Please do me a favor and like the video. Child, I couldn't believe Kadeen wasn't on the chopping block either. She probably gonna be on there next week though. We gonna see. But y'all, let's go ahead and move on to the Belle Collective, child. Make sure y'all like the video. After this one is over, I'm going to hop off, and all my members, I'm going to post the link all over the place so y'all can come and we can do Love and Marriage Huntsville. Playing Dixie. Girl. All right, y'all. Belle Collective. All right. Y'all know I had to watch Belle Collective a few times in order to give a fuck about whatever was going on. So let me try. Hold up. All right. Akeisha, Marie, and Letitia meet up. They discuss Tambra telling Letitia and Marie to watch out for Tambra. Akeisha says Letitia was coming to her with what Tambra told her. So remember when I told you was already coming at me perceiving my energy as negative? You were, because of what Tambra told you. All right, cool. Letitia got that. Letitia also realized at some point, I guess, that she wasn't going to be working on Ferris Street with Akeisha no more. But I don't know if that was said yet because I was in and out. But either way, I don't think y'all should work with each other. Y'all don't like each other. Letitia, you told that girl didn't nobody want her when she was born. I don't know what in the Marlo Hampton, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Kenya Moore shit you think we got going on over here. But ain't nobody working with you after you say some shit like that to them. Girl, go to hell. Anyway, so they reintroduce themselves after they decide to go ahead and let bygones be bygones. Marie says her mom has relapsed and she's been MIA for a while now. Marie is also opening 5 methadone clinics, so she wants to have a celebration. And they also talked about Damon not playing about Tambra and security coming over to separate them. I'm sad to hear about Marie's mama, but I think we all knew that. We've been having this conversation for a while about the fact that it seemed as if Marie mama, was on drugs, like as we were filming. Okay. I'm sorry. I know that's hard, but it's just sometimes, people just be on the shit and can't get off the shit. It's sad. But anyway, the way Tambra walks into this restaurant like paparazzi was following her, I said, Tambra, if you don't get the hell away from us with this, okay? Tambra and Zaman have lunch and talk about the decorator. She keeps referring to this lady as the decorator. Zaman is framing it like it's an attack on Tambra. I don't like the way they're coming at you because, they come at you and I just turn into a whole nother character. Zaman, I'm gonna need for somebody to make a list of all of the things that niggas do when they trying to not get caught up in a lie. And one of the things they like to do is to pretend as if when somebody is calling them out for lying or being a whore of some type, it's an attack on the woman. How is this an attack on Tambra to question Damon about his relationship with Taisha the decorator? What does that have to do with Tambra as a person? Nothing. As Tambra has said, it has nothing to do with her life. No, but it has something to do with Damon's life, Tambra. Girl, I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there with Damon and you, but it's giving bullshit. That's what it's giving. It's giving bullshit. I don't know, Tambra. Maybe you gonna have to come on Ooh Ladies First and talk to us about it, Tambra, because girl, I'm telling you right now, we feel like we in the dark. And all we got is a fake accent from you. That's all we know. Delusions, denials, and a fake accent. Okay? But Damon doesn't like the way that, they coming at Tambra. Okay, he said, I promise you, I don't like the situation at all. It's giving fatal attraction. I said, oh, so not a lady crazy just because everybody is questioning your relationship with her. Now she's stalking y'all because she said that she had a relationship with Damon. Am I to believe that to be true? Am I to believe that to be true? Y'all get the hell away from me with this. Is how I feel about that. Okay? Anyways, leave our names out of your mouth. Just go away. Tambra says that they are intimate. We're rocking and rolling. Okay, doctor's orders. And, he's like, I want you to move in. And she was like, I know you want me to move in, but where is the ring? I need a ring before I move in. Okay. And he's like, well, how you know the ring ain't in the house? Okay. All right. So you're saying that I may have to move in first and then get the ring? Is that what you're saying? Okay. Okay. Sambra. Sambra, you like 40 years old, girl. You like 40 years old, Sambra. If this nigga ain't ready to marry you, tell him just say that. If he not ready to marry you, just say that. But conversation at 30 something, 40 something years old with a man you've been in a relationship with on and off since you was a child about being together and him telling you that the baby might come first. Why? Why might the baby come first in a situation when you got to go through in vitro fertilization? Why, when you had to get your eggs saved, why, Tambra? Why are we not planning a pregnancy with Damon at this point in life? Why is Damon having conversations with you, an adult, about having a baby before y'all get married if you have said repeatedly that's not what you want? And now you're agreeing almost to move into the house with him, even though, once again, you're not getting what you want. It feels like a lie. It feels like a lie. Okay? Or some bullshit. Child, that accent sure did slip. Sure did slip and fall up out the skirt. Anyway, so Letitia doesn't understand why Tambra is shutting the conversation down. Letitia says there are just so many holes. And I was just kind of like, Letitia, even though I agree with you, sweetheart, you're about to forgive and get back with Glendale. Girl, leave this alone. Leave this alone. Leave this alone. Okay? We don't go down this road. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because essentially, you know, Tambra can look as stupid as she want to look. She ain't married to the nigga. Okay? Anyway, so Marie sits down with Jerez and Raven's mama, Glenda. And Raven, y'all know Raven was Jerez's baby mama that got murdered. They want justice for the baby. I really feel bad that y'all keep slapping a wig on Raven's mama and pushing her out here to look sad for everybody. I do feel like the lady wanted to be on the show so that they can put some type of pressure to have some justice for her daughter. I'm sure that was the thought process behind this. But I often feel like Marie will bring every distraught member of her family and in her life so that she can be a martyr. Like that. I'm going to keep going back to that. And it's not even that I don't like Marie, but I don't understand why everything having to deal with Marie is either boring business details, I'm sick, or I am saving someone in my family or my, immediate circle that needs from me. She wanted us to advocate for sure. Yes, but it absolutely just kind of felt like, shouldn't we have waited till this lady had a little bit more of her strength? Like, I don't know, something about it just felt like just slap the wig on her and push her out there. Like, that's what it felt like, which felt a lot to me like Marie's mama, who seemed like she was high. Slap some lipstick on her, push her out there. And I know I'm probably tripping. I don't want nobody to take it the wrong way, but it's the way I felt watching the scene. You know what I'm saying? Like it was too soon or something. Or this just wasn't the appropriate time for us to see these people in a public forum like this. And Jerez, is Jerez loaded? How old is Jerez exactly? How many children does Jerez have? Why is it that Jerez gets to have children and then go away for school and leave the children to be taken care of by the grandmothers instead of doing what young women have to do when they have children in college, which is take care of your fucking kids and go to school at the same time? Listen, y'all. I'm a proponent. I'm a proponent for the marijuana usage, but it's not for everybody. Because there are a lot of y'all that can't do those things. Y'all can't smoke weed and get shit done at the same time. Some of y'all can't. It's the truth. And you need to leave it alone if you can't. And it looked like Jerez don't know what to do with his life right now. But y'all gonna keep saying he going to school. All right. Hope he learned something. So pray for Miss Glenda, because that's some terrible shit to go through. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Pray for Miss Glenda, Because later on, when that lady said that when her daughter's soul left this world, her soul left this world too, I said, child, get her off the TV, please. Get her off the TV. You know what I'm saying? Like that's too much of a distraught place to be in, I feel like, to be being exploited. And I'm like I said, once again, not saying it like the lady just, did it against her will or anything, but just saying that somebody should have been like, one scene is enough. You know, one scene is enough. I don't know if Marie has any other children. It doesn't feel that way. It feels as if it's always just been her and Jerez. But I think she got a younger son from that weird ass ex-husband of hers. Anyway, y'all, Sophia throws a baby shower for her daughter D, and Sanjay Star and Sky help get everything together, and it's supposed to show that they aren't being mean to D anymore, and they're trying to support her. And I'm glad. They say their relationship is better. That's what I want to hear. Good for them. They also got her a new SUV and a new car seat in the back. It was very sweet. How old is D? Because her baby daddy looked like a child. I also wonder, like, can somebody explain to me why it seemed like a lot of men, young Southern men, and it might not even just be Southern men, but it's almost like everybody's slow. And I don't mean to say that like I'm trying to fuck over nobody, because I'm not, but it's like the way they speak seems like they have to do a lot of thinking to say a very small thing. Jerez seems that way. This little guy, of course. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody just seemed like they talking and moving in slow motion. And it makes me wonder what is in the water. Was something in the water already that has harmed the children? Because we're not firing on all cylinders like that. I don't know what's going on, but it worries me. And I don't think it's a Mississippi thing neither, because JJ, we listen, if the water is slowing motherfuckers down, somebody give JJ a cold cup because he need it, okay? Anyway, y'all, why are you biting my fingers? Stop. Latrice came to the baby shower, y'all, and they put one of the other babies. I don't know whose baby that was. That wasn't Dee's baby, was it? Nah, it was another little small baby. But they gave somebody else this little small baby for Latrice to hold. And Latrice was like, girl, I could only do this for 24 minutes. I don't think I could do this for 24 hours. And I was just kind of like, Latrice, you don't want a baby then, sis. And that is okay. I hate the way I feel like Cliff is bullying Latrice into having a child that she doesn't want to have. And I just recently had a conversation with a friend of mine talking about a woman that she knows who's older and had children because she felt like she was supposed to, and she did not want those children. And they have a hard relationship now that they're grown because they know that their mama did not want them. Like, it doesn't change just because they get here. You love them, but it doesn't change the fact that you did not want them. Okay? And so I feel like essentially no woman should have a baby unless she wants to have that baby. And when I say you want to have the baby, I mean you need to have it in your mind that if this nigga not here, me and this baby gonna be just fine. Like, that's what you need to have in your mind when you are having children as a woman. That at some point, those children or that child could be solely your responsibility. Then what are you going to do? If you're not happy with the idea of you having to raise a baby on your own as a woman, you should not have the baby. And that's just my opinion, okay? So Cliff, later on, pushing it on Latrice that she needs to have a baby, I feel like she knows her mama is telling the truth. Cliff wants you to have a baby so you can slow down. Cliff got kids right now he ain't had a full fucking relationship with. You need to fix your relationship with the kids you already got, Cliff. Okay? Because some made me feel like you didn't grow up in a household with that youngest daughter you got, but you want Latrice to have a baby. So what? You could try to do it all over again and fix the mistakes you made with the first couple of kids you had? I don't know what you on, but I personally feel like constantly pressuring Latrice to have a child is to ensure that Latrice doesn't leave your old ass. That's what I think it's about. Okay? So Latrice is stressed, hasn't had a period in 3 months. And he asked what she needs from him. And she says, just be a husband. He says, I am a husband. And I was like, yeah, Latrice, can you be a little bit more specific about what you need from daddy? Okay. He says that she has everything she needs. And so she has no need to worry. And he says, you telling me not to worry tells me that you don't understand nothing about my upbringing. Like, you don't understand my life. And she explains in the confessional, he come from a well-to-do family and she struggled. So there's no such thing as not worrying for Latrice, because no matter what, Latrice is going to think of her own responsibility in her having things and her being set up. It's not just about her being with Cliff and Cliff having things set up. It's about Latrice having things set up to the way she wants them to be. And, I guess that's hard for her right now. She has that building that she's trying to get out of. And listen, anybody that has a business knows if your brick and mortar is giving you issues, that shit will stress you the fuck out, and your clients. Anyway, Latrice tries to have a real conversation with him about being scared to have children because of how traumatizing her childhood was. And she says, you have things that you were probably traumatized by and you haven't dealt with. And he tells her the only thing that traumatized him is when he said, I do. And I was like, it's funny to me how you men joke about marriage being the most traumatizing thing you've gone through. Yet you're trying hell and high water to keep this woman from being able to walk away from you, because that's what a child is. Men will always attach their well-being and what they want to their children. They will always do it. Any nigga that's going to act like he care about his kids, he's going to use those children against the mother when it comes to getting his way. Okay, so I was like, don't do it, Latrice. Don't do it. I don't even like the way he's talking to you right now. And, it's just problematic to me for him to even say some shit like that to her. The only thing that was traumatized when I said I do. Nigga, if you don't want to be married to me, just say that. But you don't have to tell me that marrying me was traumatizing. Go be unmarried then. Be a single nigga then. The fuck? She says, well, I'm a great wife, aren't I? And he says, you're a good wife. You can be a little bit better. She says that she wants to plan a baby if they were to have a baby. And he says, well, I don't work like that. I'm a man. I work off instinct. Nigga, you do not work off instinct. Please stop. I can't stand when y'all have conversations like y'all out here in the fucking wilderness catching food and shit. Stop it, okay? You horny when you horny. You clocking that lady period, so you know when she ovulating, because you want to get her pregnant so you can trap her ass, so you can make her slow down and stop working as much, so she can be more dependent upon you, so you can feel secure knowing that your young, sexy, hot wife isn't going to leave you anytime soon. That's what I think. Okay. She tells him she hadn't had a period. He says he may not be a husband anymore, but he'll be a father. That's another thing I don't like. When men create separation between the woman and the baby before a baby is even here, or before the woman has expelled the baby from her fucking body, y'all are trying to find a way to separate the woman from the baby. I don't like that y'all do that. I feel like that's what y'all do when y'all act like babies have, or fetuses have rights over the woman that they are inside of. All of that type of shit. Yeah, separating the baby from the mother is a way to make the baby about the man. To me. Okay? But I don't like it, because it tells me that you're going to find a way to only be responsible for the baby, and then you're going to make the mother suffer by product, even though she is still physically attached to that baby, at least for the first 6 months after she has it. But you're already telling her that you'll not be a husband, but you'll be a father. Who the fuck wants to have a baby for a man that's already telling you that they don't care about you in comparison to the child? I don't want to have a baby with a man like that. You know why? Because if something happens and you have to choose between you and a baby, and you would rather be here and have another baby versus you dying and him being stuck with a baby, he could possibly choose the baby over you, even if that's not what you want, because he's your husband and you may not be able to speak up for yourself in the moment. I be hearing all of that type of shit. I was hearing all of that in his conversations that made me feel like, girl, do not have no baby for this man. Don't none of that feel safe to me. Okay. And Latrice says men will be men, and she doesn't trust a man to be there no matter what he says. And she says, so if I got pregnant and I didn't want to have the baby, you would want to get a divorce? And he says, yeah. And she says, well, I would have to leave then because you're not about to control me. I was just like, that's where y'all at with it. I'm glad you know. Child, it's a mess. And if we're honest, babies are literally parasites for women. Yes. Yes, they are. In every way of the word. Tina, then I love my two 15-year-old parasites. We glad you love them. We glad you love them, and you should love them. Okay? But it does not change the fact that before they were outside of your body, they were feeding on you. Okay? They were feeding on you and depleting you to live. Okay? Marie and Essie celebration being the first Black woman in Mississippi to own a methadone clinic pops off. Akeisha says that she's happy to be invited to an event. Shout out to Tisha. And she's going to let bygones be bygones with Tambra, but she got her good eye on the beach. And I said, as you should. Hamilton Davis is the name of Essie and Marie's company. And she thanks Essie for being the person that she does all of this with, who's so dependable. And, Latrice got to make a little joke about them being soulmates and everything. Little fun shade. It was good. Okay. And then Miss Glenda comes in once again, y'all, and put the wig on a lady and ushered her in here to be around all this fucking mess. And then Taisha comes in, and Tambra, rolling her eyes, gets her bag, hugs Marie, goes over there to production, tells them take her mic off, and proceeds to walk out. And Taisha is like, so you can talk to everybody about me, but you can't talk to me. And she calls her desperate and walks out. And I was just like, oh Lord, Tambra, you just gonna keep running, huh? You just gonna keep on running. She's a runner, she's a track star. We never gonna find out the truth from her. We're never gonna find out the truth from her. Okay. Yes, Cliff is definitely trying to trap her. Okay. She is. She will be trapped. She will be trapped. He is. She will be trapped. All right, y'all. That was Belle Collective. There wasn't really much else that went on. I heard that there is some story that Tambra may have been engaged to somebody else, and maybe that's the tea. I don't know, but I need for us to get to the bottom of it. I really do. Oh, y'all know, all y'all mothers out there, more power to y'all. Okay, I'm gonna pray for y'all. Y'all be good out there. All right. But yeah, I'm going to go. Y'all give me about 10 minutes, and I will be right back for Love and Marriage Huntsville for all of my members. So make sure y'all like, share, comment, do what y'all want to do. And I will see y'all in the next one. All right. Tomorrow for Black Ass Bravo. Cool. Peace out.